Do you have a personal brand? And are you ready to see how by having a personal brand and going through the necessary steps by identifying yourself to your audience, you can succeed in your business as well as your career? So I'm excited to chat to you guys today because I am seeing something interesting amongst people that I speak to, fellow entrepreneurs, my colleagues that I used to work with. And something that is very prevalent at the moment is that all too often, new or existing entrepreneurs, as well as people in corporate careers, are not letting themselves be seen. They are shying away from showing their personality, sharing their personal experiences and their story with their audience or their network. And when you do this, when you share these things with your audience or your network, they start building up something that we call the know, like, and trust factor. You see, the problem I see with brands these days are I see very sanitized, clean, pretty, poised brands, but lacking in personality and in some ways, vulnerability. So now you might be wondering, okay, is there a difference between having a personal brand if I'm an entrepreneur versus having a personal brand if I'm building my career? And to a degree, yes. If you are building your career, your personal brand obviously needs to be professional, but it needs to show a lot of authenticity and bring to the table who you are, what you have to offer, and how you are going to add value, not just to your current job, to potential other employers, but also to people around you. I think we've become complacent. When you're in your job, you're making the salary you want, you're doing things that you love, that's that, right? No, definitely not. You need to be sharing your value with everyone. You need to be putting yourself out there. You need to be seeing where can you level up by intermingling with other companies, intermingling in different industries, by still sharing your value, your experience, your knowledge. And then start leveling yourself up. Offer yourself to do public speaking events. Start writing articles. Maybe optimize your LinkedIn page and your Facebook pages so that really people can see who you are, what you have to offer, and why you are worth their time. If you're an entrepreneur and starting your own business, you should be obviously representing your business, but people don't just buy from a static, empty, lifeless brand. They want to buy from the person behind the brand. They want to get to know you. They want to see if they resonate with you. And with the online noise being very noisy at the moment, you want to stand out. With all the brands being available, with everyone having access to digital footprints, what is going to make you and your business stand out from all the noise? And that is really through building a personal brand. Because something that's very important, sales, whether you're selling yourself or the products or services within your business, is a transfer of confidence. So what confidence do you have to prove to people that they should be buying from you or buying into you? So I really want to help you going through 5 questions today that you can ask yourself to build your confidence, build your credibility, and thus building your personal brand. So the first question I have to ask you, that you should be asking yourself, is what value do you offer? So obviously, if you're running a business and you're selling a service or product, the value would be attached there. But why, if there are so many services on offer on the same object or topic, would I buy from you instead of the next person who has just as pretty website, maybe more followers or less followers than you? What makes you stand out? That is why you need a personal brand. That is why you need to be differentiating yourself and creating that factor where people can start recognizing you, therefore like and resonate with you, and then trust you. So that ultimately they buy your confidence and then buy your product. If you are in your career, similarly, this goes for you too. What value do you offer your current employer who could potentially give you a promotion, or a potential new employer or new industry where you can expand and grow even more than what you may have thought before? So this is really a topic where you have to deep dive and look at everything you have, your life experiences, your personal experiences, the degrees, the studies, personal studies you may have done, and then obviously what have you done in your career or business to show your credibility, to show your expertise, to show your authority. And you need to start sharing that. Become confident in who you are, what you know, and what you have to offer. And then be clear to your audience what that value and offer proposition is. Because the more you talk about it and the more you share more value and insight for free, the more they're going to go, well, if this is what I get from you for free, imagine what I will get from you if I paid you, right? That sounds easy enough. If you are with me, pop a fire emoji in the comments or a yes or some hearts, and then I know you are with me and we can move on to the next question. Love it. So the next question that you want to ask yourself when you're building your personal brand is, what is your buyer persona or your ideal client avatar, as they speak about in the marketing world? And remember now, your potential employer can be your ideal client avatar as well. So this is really deep diving because you need to understand what you are saying to people to make them buy from you. Who are you speaking to so that you can understand what words to use, which emotive language is going to convince them that you are speaking to them. You want your audience to be looking at your video, which I hope you guys are doing, and nodding their heads going, yes, I hear you. I'm there. I am resonating with what you have to say. Or they must be reading your sales page or your CV going, yes, this is what I want. I need more of this. But you can't do that if you don't know who you're speaking to. So imagine this person in front of you. Make them real. Give them a name. Give them an age if you can. Give them attributes such as, do they live in a city or a rural areas? Do they like the fast lane? Do they like a slower pace of life? Do they have a family? Are they single? All these things are going to mean they're going to react differently to what you're putting out there. So similarly, for a company who's looking for their ideal employee, what are you telling them? What are the words that they are looking for that will make them feel like you are ticking the boxes for them? Okay, so the first two questions, let me recap. What value do you offer? And who is your ideal buying persona or client avatar or employer avatar? Okay, so if you've gone through those things, the next thing you need to ask yourself is, how are you shaping your branding? So what does this personal brand look like? And you can get quite technical, but let's start with something simple. You want to be able to really just start portraying an aura of confidence. This could be an alter ego if you are not confident in yourself just yet. But so that people can start building that connection, that recognizability, and start seeing what you stand for, who you are. And this will naturally, whether you are in your career or a business owner, be represented through the business services products that you're selling. Because I'm sure you are not creating a business that you don't resonate with yourself, that isn't standing for the values and the ethics that you stand for. So thus, do people know this about you? They might understand what your business is about, but do they know where this comes from, what this stems from? Which goes back a little bit into your story. And this is part of the brand that you're shaping. So what does your brand voice sound like? Going a little bit back to how you're speaking to your client avatar, but now it's more focusing on who you are and making that come to life. You can bring in things like a logo, you can bring in things like colors. For example, I love nature. So my brand, typical colors are green because it's about nature, it's about healing, it's about confidence. So whenever you see me on screen, I will usually be wearing black because that makes me neutral. But my background, my imagery through my website, my pages, my content will probably always have some element of green to them. I've also chosen specific fonts that I want to use when I put out my content, and I tend to speak similar language. So you'll always hear me talking about activation energy. You'll hear me talking about personal branding. You'll hear me talking about what your offer is and what your worth and your value is. That way, every time you interact with me, you start recognizing who I am, what I'm about, and what my values and my ethics are. Is that making sense? Then the next question you want to ask yourself is, who do you serve and what do you do for them? So you've kind of answered this question with the ideal client avatar, but now this is taking it a next step further and really delving deeper into what it is that you're actually giving them. So if you're a business owner and this is a product, Now you need to start selling your product, but you're not just selling a magazine or a shoe or a dress. You need to sell the lifestyle. You need to sell so much more, because this now is going to interact with who you are and your lifestyle. So if they like what you have, and this is the product you're offering in order for them to get there, they're going to make that connection. Do you see what I did there? If you're an employee and you want to build your business, again, similarly, everybody out there can use these right words on their CV, but what is going to make you stand out? What have you had in your career, in your life experiences that will make your skills different? Do you have transferable skills? I mentioned this in my live the other day. So you might be changing industries, but now the specific skills that that industry is looking for does not necessarily apply to you, but perhaps you have problem-solving skills, accountability, time management, team management that can still transfer into the new industry. So this is deep diving a little bit the ideal client avatar, as well as what you have to offer, into really how do you serve? How does it translate to the benefits of that person? Because it's all good and well to tell me that I'm going to receive activation energy for success, but if I don't tell you how that's going to benefit you, would you really be interested? I don't think so. So now you have to use what you know about your client and about your offer and really personalize it, and start using your language, start using your brand recognition, and show them why they are going to benefit from working with you, from buying from you. And you can do this by starting to tell your story, because you want to start resonating with people, making connections with them. And as you tell your story, you are going to weave in your credibility markers, which makes you the authority and the expertise that you have. And it also, you're going to start weaving in the benefits of working with you or buying from you. So that it becomes the story that you're telling, and it must become your elevator pitch. It must become your I help statement. So that people in 2 sentences or less start understanding who you are, how you're going to serve them, and what benefit they are getting from it. Because at the end of the day, our attention spans are short. I don't really care about you that much. I want to know how you are going to help me. So you're taking all these things that you've now learned in this video, I hope, and transferring it into a nice package and telling them why that's what your audience, your network wants. Then the last step, because this is important, the question that you need to ask yourself is, where do you see your business or your career in the next 3 years? Because that's important to understand how you're building these steps to get where you want to be so that you can continuously grow. Because once you reach the one goal, what is the next step that you want to do? And something that I mentioned in some of my videos on my YouTube channel is reverse engineering success. So if you know where you want to be, you can start working backwards, building out the journey that you need to take now to get there. And you can do that by answering all these questions, having your personal brand in place, and understanding how you can get to the success of business, the success in your career, and really see yourself thrive and step into your power. Those are the 5 main questions that I have that you can ask yourself to really build your personal brand strategy and get started on making those connections with your audience, your career, building into the future that you want, and seeing the success and results. And I'm sure if you take these steps and you actually implement them, because at the end of the day, it is about taking action, right? You can start seeing success from next week, tomorrow, and today. But you have to do it, and then you have to become consistent and just keep at it. And I know sometimes putting yourself out there as the face of a business or even the face of your own work isn't easy. But believe me, practice, practice, practice. And anything else, you can pop a question in the comment and you can get in touch with me and I can help you take this even further. So thanks for watching, guys.